Good afternoon, dear children. As we informed earlier, we can do the problems from the lesson work, energy, and power. Okay, I already gave 8 questions, I think. Okay, all of you have the questions. Okay, then take the questions. We can do one by one. Okay, let's the first question. A man pushes a roller with a force of 50 Newton through a distance of 20 meter. Calculate the work done if the handle of the roller is inclined at an angle of 60 degree with the ground. Actually, that is the question. A man pushes a roller with a force of 50 Newton. So the force is given as 50 Newton. The force is given as 50 Newton through a distance of 20 meter. So the distance S is equal to 20 meter. Okay. Here we have to calculate the work done if the handle of the roller is inclined at an angle of 60 degree with the ground. So theta is equal to 60 degree. Then we have to calculate the work done. You know the equation for work done, W is equal to what? What is the equation for work done? W is equal to Fs cos theta. Okay, W is equal to Fs cos theta. And F is actually 50, then S is 20, then cos 60. Okay, cos 60. Then we can substitute the value of cos 60 as 1 by 2. Okay, so we can write cos 60. The next steps 50 into 20 into cos 60 is actually 1 by 2. Okay, by simplifying this, we will get the value as 500 joule. Okay, so the work done is actually 500 joule. Listen to it. Here a man pushes a roller with a force of 50 Newton. So force is given as 50 Newton through a distance. Okay, so by the application of 50 Newton force, the roller moves through a distance of 20 meter. So S is equal to 20 meter. Then here the handle of the roller is inclined at an angle of 60 degree with the ground. So theta is equal to 60. Then we have to find the work done. So W is equal to Fs cos theta. Then F is 50, then S is 20, then cos 60. Then actually it is 1 by 2. By simplifying this, we will get the value of work done as 500 joule. Okay. Next, the second question is calculate the work done in lifting a mass of 5 kg vertically through 8 meter. Okay, here also we have to calculate the work done in lifting a mass of 5 kg. So mass is given as 5 kg. Okay, vertically through a distance of, so mass is given as 5 kg. So m is equal to 5 kg and the displacement of the mass 5 kg is actually 8 meters. That is, it is vertically moved through a distance of 8 meters. So h is actually 8 meter. Listen it. Here we have to find the work done. Okay. So here we have to find the work done in lifting 5 kg mass vertically through a distance of 8 meter. Listen it. So actually, you know the work done is equal to force into displacement. You know, work done is equal to force into displacement. Okay. And here the work done to, here the force required to lift the mass 5 kg, that is equal to its weight itself. So instead of F, we can write mg. Okay. And here it is actually the vertical distance. So instead of S, we can write h. Okay. So in order to lift an object upward, you know, we have to apply a force that is equal to its weight. So instead of F, we can write mg. Then S, we can write h. Then what is mass? Actually 5. Then g, you know the value of g as 9.8 meter per second square. So 9.8 into h is actually 8. Listen to it. And by simplifying this, we will get 392 joule. The work done is equal to 392 joules. Okay. Actually here we have to calculate the work done in lifting a mass of 5 kg vertically through 8 meter. Listen it. So here the mass is given as 5 kg, then the vertical distance is 8 meter. Then we have to find the work done. W is equal to F into S. Here the force is not given. So actually here the force is equal to the weight of the object. So F is equal to mg, then S is can be written as h. Then 5 into 9.8 into 8, by simplifying this we will get 392 joule. That is the work done. Okay. Next, the third question is, a body of mass 5 kg initially at rest is subjected to a force of 20 Newton. What is the kinetic energy appeared at the end of 10 seconds? Here we have to find the kinetic energy. Okay, here a body of mass 5 kg. So mass is given as 5 kg, which is initially at rest. So its initial velocity u equal to 0. And it is subjected to a force. So F is equal to 20 Newton. Okay. So we have to find the kinetic energy occurred at the end of 10 seconds. So time t is given as 10 seconds. The time t is given as what? 10 seconds. We have, we have to find kinetic energy. You know the expression for kinetic energy? Ek is equal to half mv square. Okay. But but v is not given. Okay. So first we have to calculate the velocity. So we have to first calculate the velocity after 10 seconds. So we can take the equation v is equal to u plus at. Okay, but the acceleration is not given. So first we have to calculate what? Acceleration. By Newton's second law, we know F is equal to m into a. From this acceleration A is equal to F divided by m. F divided by m. So F is actually 20 and mass is 5. Okay, so acceleration is 4 meter per second square. So the acceleration is 4 meter per second square. Next we can calculate the velocity after 10 seconds. So v equal to u plus at. We can take the equation u plus at, then but u is 0. So 0 plus a into t is actually 10 seconds. Okay, t is actually 10 seconds. So a is actually 4. So v is equal to 40 meter per second. V is actually 40 meter per second. Okay, next we can calculate the kinetic energy Ek as half mv square. So half into m is 5, v square is 40 into 40. Okay, by simplifying this we will get kinetic energy as 4000 joule. Okay, so we got the kinetic energy as 4000 joule. Listen it. Here a body of mass 5 kg. So m is given as 5 kg, which is initially at rest. So its initial velocity u equal to 0. Next we are applying a force of 20 Newton. So F is equal to 20 Newton. We have to find the kinetic energy occurred by that body at the end of 10 seconds. So it is given as 10 seconds. All of you know the equation for kinetic energy Ek equal to half mv square. But velocity is not given. First we have to find the velocity occurred after 10 seconds. For that we are considering the equation v equal to u plus at. But a is not given. So first we have to calculate a. By considering Newton's second law, F equal to ma. From this a equal to F by m. So F is 20 by 5, that is 4 meter per second square. Next we can calculate the velocity b. By the equation u plus at, then u is 0, 0 plus a is 4 into 10. So we got the velocity as 40 meter per second. Then the kinetic energy is half mv square. So half into m is 5, v square is 40 into 40. By simplifying this, we will get the value of kinetic energy as 4000 joule. Okay, all of you got it? Next, the fourth question is, an electron and a proton are detected in a cosmic ray experiment. The first with kinetic energy 10 kilo electron volt and second with 100 kilo electron volt. Which is faster, the electron or proton? Obtain the ratio of their speeds. Mass of electron is given as 9.11 into 10 power minus 31 kilogram and mass of proton is 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg. And 1 electron volt is equivalent to 1.6 into 10 power minus 90 joule. That is actually the question. Here, an electron and proton are detected in a cosmic ray experiment. The kinetic energy of the electron is given as, that is the kinetic energy of the electron is represented as Ke or Eke, anything we can represent. Ke is given as 10 Ke, 10 kilo electron volt. Okay, electron volt is actually it is another unit of energy, isn't it? Electron volt. Then the kinetic energy of proton is given as 100 kilo electron volt. 100 kilo electron volt. That is the kinetic energy of electron and proton. We have to find which one moves faster, electron or proton. Also we have to find the ratio of their speed. For that, the mass of electron is given as 9.11 into 10 power minus 31 kg, and mass of proton is 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg. Isn't it? So first we can take the ratio of their kinetic energy, that is Ke by Kp. Ke by Kp. The ratio of kinetic energy, so 10 divided by 100, that is actually is equal to 1 by 10. Ke by Kp, that is the ratio of kinetic energy of electron and proton, that is actually 1 by 10. Next we can consider the equation for kinetic energy. You know, kinetic energy of electron is, we can write the kinetic energy of electron as half me d square. Then for proton, Kp is equal to half mp bp square. Half mp bp square. Then we can take the ratio Ke by Kp is equal to half mev square divided by half mp bp square. We have to find the ratio of v by bp. Listen it, here half cancel, then we got me v square divided by mp bp square. We have to find the ratio of what, kinetic energy of velocity of or speed of electron to proton, isn't it? And which is actually, you know, Ke by Kp, which is actually 1 by 10, isn't it? Ke by Kp is actually, so we can substitute 1 by 10. Then we have to find v square by bp square. V square divided by bp square. Then we can cross multiply, or otherwise we can write like this. We can write it. V square divided by bp square is actually what, mb square divided by 10. Mb divided by 10 me. Okay, v square by bp square equal to mb. This mb goes here. So mb divided by 10 me. Okay, mb. So from this we can write v. We have to find v by bp. So square root of mb divided by 10 me. Then we can substitute. Okay, square root of mass of proton is actually 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 divided by 10 into mass of electron is 9.11 into 10 power minus 31. And simplifying this, we get the ratio as 13.54. Okay, 13.54. That is actually, here we got V by Vp is equal to 13.54. That is the ratio of the speed of electron and proton. Then which one moves faster? From this, V is equal to, you know, V is greater than Vp. And that is V is actually Vp into 13.56. From this it is clear that speed of electron is greater than speed of proton. So electron moves faster than proton, isn't it? And here we have an electron and a proton are detected in a cosmic ray experiment. The first with, that is, the electron moves with the kinetic energy 10 kilo electron volt, and proton that moves with the kinetic energy 10 kilo electron volt. Listen it, we have to find which one moves faster, electron or proton. Also we have to find the ratio of their speeds. Okay, and here the mass of electron is given as this and mass of proton is this one. Okay, first we can find the ratio of kinetic energy, that is kinetic energy of electron by kinetic energy of proton is equal to 10 divided by 100. That is equal to actually 1 by 10, isn't it? From this, you know the expression for kinetic energy, half me square. Then the kinetic energy of electron, half me v square. Here the for proton, half mb vp square. Then taking the ratio Ke by Kp is equal to half me v square divided by half mb vp square. Then half cancel. Then me v square divided by mb vp square. You know the ratio of kinetic energy is 1 by 10. We can substitute here. Then v square by vp square equal to mb square divided by 10 me. From this V by Vp is equal to square root of mv by 10 mv. Then we can substitute for mv 1.67 into 10 power minus 27. Then 10 into mass of electron is 9.11 into 10 power minus 31. So simplifying this, we will get 13.54. That is the ratio of speed of electron and proton. Then we can find which one moves faster. From this it is clear that E greater than Vp. That is, the speed of electron is greater than speed of proton. So the electron moves faster. The next question is, while catching a cricket ball of mass 200 gram moving with a velocity 20 meter per second, the player draws his hands back through 20 centimeter. Find the work done in catching the ball and the average force exerted by the ball on the hand. Listen to it, that is the question. Here, while catching a cricket ball of mass 200 gram, so the mass of cricket ball is given. M is equal to 200 gram. Actually, it is equal to 200 into, how we can convert it into kilogram, divided by 1000. So it is 10 power minus 3 kilogram. That is the mass of cricket ball, which moves with a velocity v is equal to 20 meter per second. Okay. Then the player draws his hands back through 20 centimeter. Okay. That is, in order to catch the ball, the player draws his hands back through 20 centimeter. So the distance S is equal to 20 centimeter. Okay, that is equal to 20 into 10 power minus 2 meter. To convert centimeter into meter, we have to divide it by 100 or multiply 10 power minus 2 meter. Find the work done in catching the ball. We have to find the work done by catching the ball and the average force exerted by the ball on the hand. Listen to it. You know, this is actually based on work energy theorem. You know work energy theorem? The work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Here the work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Here the final kinetic energy is 0 because the ball got stopped by the field. So the final kinetic energy is 0. So only the he is half mu square. Okay, that is the work done. Listen it, the work done is equal to half mu square. That is half into m is actually 200 into 10 power minus 3. Then v square is u square is actually 20 square. Okay, it is actually 20 square. So we got, by simplifying this, we get what 40 joule. Okay, by simplifying this, actually we will get the work done as 40 joule. Listen it. Next, we have to find the force exerted by the ball on the hand. That is, F is equal to what? We can take this relation, that is W is equal to F into S. From this, F is equal to what? W by S. Okay. Here the work done is 40 and the distance is actually 20 into 10 power minus 3. By simplifying this, we will get 200 Newton. This is the force exerted by the ball on the hand. Listen it here. While catching a cricket ball of mass 200 grams, so the mass is given as 200 gram. That is, we have to convert this gram into kilogram. For that, we have to divide it by 1000. Otherwise, we can multiply it by 10 power minus 3. So 200 into 10 power minus 3 kilogram is the mass of the ball. And it moves with a velocity of 20 meter per second. Then the player draws his hands back through a distance of 20 centimeter. That is equal to 20 into 10 power minus 2 meter. Here we have to find the work done in catching the ball and the average force exerted by the ball on the hand. So we can take the work energy theorem, that is the work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Here the final kinetic energy becomes 0. So only we have the initial kinetic energy half m square, then half into m is 200 into 10 power minus 3, then u square is 20 square. By simplifying this, we will get the work done as 40 joule. Next we have to find the force exerted by the ball to the hand. That is, for that we are considering this relation W is equal to F into S. From this F equal to W by S. Okay. And here instead of W we can write 40. Then S is actually 20 into 10 power minus 2 meter. 20 into 10 power minus 2 meter. Okay, then simplifying this we will get the force as what 200 Newton. Okay. Next, the sixth question is, a ball is thrown vertically up with a velocity of 20 meter per second. At what height will its kinetic energy be half of its original value? Okay, here a ball is thrown vertically upward with a velocity of u equal to 20 meter per second. At what height? We have to find the height where the kinetic energy be half of its original value. Okay. At the maximum height, the velocity be equal to 0. The maximum height, the velocity be equal to 0. Okay, first we can find that maximum height. H we can find. For that we are considering this relation v square minus u square equal to 2gh. Okay, from this actually u square is equal to, but actually b is equal to 0, so u square is equal to, or we can write u square equal to 2gh. From this h is equal to u square by 2g. The height h is equal to u square divided by 2g. Okay, we can neglect the negatives and because it is a height, so h is equal to u square by 2g. Okay, we have the relation u square minus u square equal to 2as. Here the vertical motion, so instead of a we can write g, then instead of s we can write the height h. Okay, so here v equal to 0. At the maximum height the velocity becomes 0. So 0 is equal to 0 minus u square equal to 2gh, or u square can be written as 2gh. From this h is equal to u square by 2g. So u square is 400, that is 20 square, 2 into 9.8. From this we got 200 by 9.8. That is actually the maximum height. Okay, then at the maximum height we can find the total energy. At the maximum height the energy is the kinetic energy is 0 because velocity equal to 0. We have only the potential energy mgh at the maximum height. Okay, the mass is not given, so instead of mass we can write m itself. Then 9.8 into, instead of h we can write 200 by 9.8. So we got 200 m. M here it is not meter, it is mass. Listen it. That is the total energy at the maximum height. At the maximum height we have the total energy, which is only the potential energy, which is equal to 200 meter. So not 200 meter, 200 into m. Okay, 200 into m. Then just above the ground, the potential energy is 0. Just above the ground, the potential, that we only be learned in the conservation of mechanical energy. Okay, just above the ground, the potential energy is 0. So the total energy is equal to its kinetic energy. The total energy is equal to the kinetic energy, which is also the same. That is 200 m. At all the points, the total energy remains the same. Okay, so it is actually 200 m. Okay, next we can assume at a distance of, or at a height of x, where the kinetic energy is half of its original value. Actually the original kinetic energy is 200 meter. And at a distance of x, its kinetic energy becomes what? Half its original value. So we can write 100 m is equal to mg into x. Okay, 100 m is equal to mg into x. Okay, here we are assuming that at a distance of x, the kinetic energy is equal to half its original amount. So we can write half of this original value. So 100 m is equal to mg x. We have to calculate x. So this mm cancel and we can write x is equal to what? Actually x is equal to this 100 divided by g. That is 100 divided by 9.8 and which is 10.2 meter. That is at a distance of 10.2 meter, the kinetic energy becomes half of its original value. At a distance of 10.2 meter, the kinetic energy becomes half of its original value. Okay. Here a ball is thrown vertically up with a velocity of 20 meter per second. We have to find the height, at what height will its kinetic energy becomes half of this original value. You know, at the maximum height, velocity v equal to 0. First we have to find that height by considering this relation v square minus u square equal to 2gh. From this u square equal to 2gh and h is equal to u square by 2g. So u square is 400 divided by 2 into 9.8. It is 200 by 9.8. Okay, you know, at the maximum height kinetic energy is 0, it is only potential energy. So the total energy is equal to mgh. So m into g is 9.8 into height is 200 by 9.8. By simplifying this, we will get 200 m. Isn't it? And just above the ground, the potential energy is 0 and this total energy is only kinetic energy, and it is equal to again 200 m. Okay, next we are assuming that let x be a distance where the kinetic energy becomes half of its original value. So it is 100 m is equal to mgx. This m cancel and x equal to 100 by g, which is equal to 100 divided by 9.8, that is equal to 10.2 meter. That is at a distance of 10.2 meter, the kinetic energy becomes half of its original value. Okay. Next, the seventh question is, a car of mass 1000 kg accelerates uniformly from rest to a velocity of 54 km per hour in 5 seconds. First we have to calculate acceleration, its gain in kinetic energy, then average power of the engine during this period. Okay, we have to neglect friction. Okay, that is the question. Here a car of mass m is given as 1000 kg that accelerates uniformly from rest. So u equal to 0. And it acquires a velocity of 50 km per hour in 5 seconds. The time is t is equal to 5 seconds. So its velocity acquired is 54 km per hour. Okay. You know how to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. You know how we can convert, multiplying by 5 by 80. By simplifying this, we will get 15 meter per second is the velocity acquired. The first we have to calculate what? Acceleration. Okay, you know the equation for acceleration A equal to v minus u by t. Acceleration A is equal to v minus u by t. Then v is 15 minus 0 divided by 5. That is 3 meter per second square. That is the acceleration. A is equal to 3 meter per second square. Next we have to find the gain in kinetic energy. Okay, gain in kinetic energy is actually half final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. Here it is half m into v square minus u square. That is the gain in kinetic energy. Ek is equal to half m into v square minus u square. Okay, so we can substitute half into m is actually 1000 into v square is 15 square. U is actually 0. Isn't it? And simplifying this, we will get 1.125 into 10 power 5 joule. This is the gain in kinetic energy. Okay, 1.125 into 10 power 5 joule. Next, we have to find the average power. You know, what is the equation? The rate of doing work, that is power. Okay, you know, power or W by T. Okay, the power P is equal to W by T. Okay, here the work done is equal to the gain in kinetic energy. Here the work done is equal to gain in kinetic energy. So we can write 1.125 into 10 power 5 divided by time t is given as 5 seconds. Okay, by simplifying this we will get 22,500 watt. Actually this is the power. Okay, the average power of the engine. Isn't it? Here a car of mass 1000 kg accelerates uniformly from rest. So the mass is given as 1000. It accelerates from rest. So its initial velocity u equal to 0. Then it accelerates to a velocity of v 50 km per hour in time t equal to 5 seconds. Here we have to convert this kilometer per hour into meter per second. For that we are multiplying by 5 by 18. So 15 meter per second. First we have to find the acceleration. You know the equation for acceleration is equal to v minus u by t. So 15 minus 0 by 5, that is 3 meter per second square is the acceleration. Next we have to find the gain in kinetic energy is half m b square minus c square. Then we can substitute half into m 1000, then b square is 15 square. Then simplifying this, we will get 1.125 into 10 power 5 joule. Next, we have to find the average power equal to what? Work by time. Here the work done is equal to gaining kinetic energy. So 1.125 into 10 power 5 divided by 5. So we got the power as 22,500 watt. Okay. Okay, the last question, that is the 8th question, is a 10 kg ball and a 20 kg ball approach each other with velocities 20 meter per second and 10 meter per second respectively. What are their velocities after collision if the collision is perfectly elastic? That is the question. Here we have two balls. One of the ball has mass 10 kg. So M1 is actually 10 kg and the second ball has mass 20 kg. Actually these two balls approach with velocities 20 meter per second and 10 meter per second. So U1 is actually 20 meter per second and U2 is 10 meter per second, because these two are approach each other. So the direction is not the same. So we can put a negative sign for U2. Okay, that is U2 is taken as minus 10 meter per second. Here we have to find the velocities after collision of these two balls. Okay, we know the equation for velocities after collision. Okay, for the first ball we can have the velocity V1 is equal to m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus 2m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u2. That is the velocity of the first ball after collision. Okay, then we can substitute here m1 minus m2, that is 10 minus 20 divided by 10 plus 20 into what? u1 is 20 plus 2 into m2 is actually 20 divided by m1 plus m2 is 10 plus 20 into u2 is actually minus 10. Okay, then we can after simplifying this, we will get the velocity v1 as minus 20 meter per second. Minus 20 meter per second. Okay, minus 20 meter per second. This is the velocity of the first ball after collision, minus 20 meter per second. The next we can have the relation V2 is equal to m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 into u2 plus 2 m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. Then we can substitute m2 as 20 minus 10 divided by 20 plus 10 into u2 is actually minus 10 plus 2 into m1 is 10, then 20 plus 10 into u1 is 20. By simplifying this, we will get the value of the velocity of the second ball after collision is 10 meter per second. You can check and simplify this one. We will get about 10 meter per second. Okay, here we have a 10 kg ball and 20 kg ball. That is M1 is 10 kg and M2 is 20 kg. And their move with velocities, U1 is 20 meter per second and U2 is minus 10 meter per second, because they are approach each other. So their the direction of velocity is opposite. So here we are putting it negative side. Next we have to find velocities of the two balls after collision. And here the collision is perfectly elastic collision. So we know the equations for velocities of two balls after collision. The first is V1 equal to m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus 2m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u2. Then simplifying this, we will get v1 as minus 20 meter per second. Then the velocity of the second ball is v2 is equal to m2 minus m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u2 plus 2m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. By simplifying this, we will get v2 as 10 meter per second. Isn't it? That is the velocities of the two balls, after collision. Okay, have you got it? Okay children, that is the end of today's class. Thank you.